this Saturday at Rocky 5.
I imagine Rocky's going to go a bit differently. I think there's going to be a bit more people there.
Absolutely. Oh no, we're going to have Basic Stitch there. We're going to have probably, I don't know.
He was talking about going, but I'm not sure who else. I know there's a couple people planning to go. We'll probably have Cascade there.
Right, yeah. I mean, all of that is to be determined, but right now, yo, Adrian, we got grand finals.
Yeah. Pi-Lingual SDing real quick. Even though he had the recovery, even if he up-B'd, he could have gone on platform in a way that Dimension couldn't have covered as easily, or at least mix it up with platform or landing on stage.
Right.
But instead he went for that air dodge and died for it. So.
But I mean, the strength that we've seen from Dimension is using that sword to bat his opponent exactly where he wants them. Just being able to combo into it so smoothly because it's so well planned out that far ahead. And honestly, it's just so impressive to see that. Just the planning and the meticulous, the execution that goes into it.
Yeah, Pi-Lingual's trying to play this like really fast. And Dimension's
him off guard
slowing it down a lot.
Yeah.
And Dimension's getting a lot more out of it because he's able to kind of get in Pi-Lingual's head with the way they've been playing.
We see Pi-Lingual throwing the fastballs, but Dimension responding with the changeup. It's all a matter of who's going to be swinging and missing here. And could it be Dimension striking out? Because don't forget, I'm going to stop with the baseball analogies now, because don't forget, it is a best-of-5 series, but if Pi takes this, we go to another set. And yeah, go to another best-of-5.
Trying to win a second best-of-5 is hard. But Pi-Lingual,
I mean, we've seen it done. I mean, for those of you, for those Smash 4 fans, we saw it done at Evo just last year.
Smash and Splash this weekend, Armada just won 2 best-of-5s against Acebox.
That's true. Not an easy guy to take take sets from.
But like, it's just a I feel like if you're in the winner side of Grand Finals, you can take it a lot easier on yourself. Because even though like you still have to worry about like potentially 10 games, those first 5 games are a lot calmer for you than they are for the opponent.
That's true. And I mean, over the course of 10 games, you can get to know you can get to know your opponent's habits so intimately, and you just know exactly what their tendencies are. You know what they're leaning towards.
Especially if you have a 5 games as a buffer.
Yeah.
To learn them. Even if you trade even if it's a game 5 where you're in winners, they're in losers.
Yeah.
They are putting their all into it. Well, you don't have to, because you have a 5-game buffer. You now can learn their tendencies and win based off of that.
That's true. We saw H do that actually not even that long ago at Get On My Level against Plup.
Yeah.
Grand Finals there.
Yeah. And for here we have Pi-Lingual's again trying to keep Dimension in the corner.
Yeah.
Prevent this trying to keep it fast-paced, where Dimension's still trying to slow it down a little bit.
Yeah.
But Pi-Lingual's able to put on enough pressure to make it work.
He wants Dimension off that platform like the plague.
Yeah. He wants him on the ground in front of him, so he can use that platform for his own movement, or if Dimension's on ledge, punish any get-up he has.
Absolutely right.
Give him enough pressure to force him off, and then punish the get-up. Like we just saw there. Forcing that roll, and then just that dash dance to try to hope that he can punish.
Just the blade dancing through the air like it's nothing.
Ooh. Baiting out that F smash with the
oh, he was looking for those needles. Gets the recovery. Oh, with the ledge grabs again.
Yeah, this is more. This happened the last set. Pi-Lingual wasn't able to edge guard Dimension, where he needed to do those nairs. This time he just did it so early that it didn't even matter.
Caught him with the air, and there it is. It is the first game to Pi-Lingual. He'll need to win 5 more of those if he wants to be grand champion here at Salt, but not a bad start for the gentleman. But what does Dimension do to respond? Oh,
going to Yoshi's,
stage.
trying to force that smaller stage where he can kill super early.
True.
Where like the platforms, no matter how Pi-Lingual recovers, he can cover.
Right. And you have to think with that big reach on his sword, he can kill either up or out with that forward smash.
Yeah, like it helps the DI a lot. Dimension there without a jump. Ooh, and then a random update.
Weird.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was kind of curious about that either. Didn't seem like he needs it. Certainly needed a bit more height on that last one, but it will cost Dimension that stock. And right now, Pi-Lingual's sitting pretty, but always a chance for Dimension to combo up some damage, which we know him to do.
Yeah.
So effectively.
I think Pi-Lingual's looking really strong. Ooh, able to catch the jump, which is important because then it forces Marth into like a bad position, but wasn't able to capitalize on it.
There you go. That's Sheik's Nair, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, just making sure. The Nair in the fair for some reason looks so. It really is just a matter of how much Sheik crouches, apparently.
Yeah. So like that Nair is really good if you want a lasting one, because even its weak hitbox hits upwards,
right.
And
well executed by Marth there.
And
I should say Dimension.
Is a lasting hitbox where like the fair is super short but hits at this nice 45-degree angle. So even like on the best DI, you're not living it for the most part unless you get hit pretty high at a low percent.
All a matter of where you want your opponent to go, and all of a sudden Pi-Lingual finds himself firmly in the driver's seat. Oh,
yeah. I think
well to grab ledge.
Dimension will get a lot more off of the wider stages, where he can get some space. He can try to bait Pi-Lingual better, because right now he's just getting cornered so easily, and Pi-Lingual's able to convert off of that much better.
But we saw the reasoning. We could almost see the reasoning behind why he would want to be on Yoshi's story. Smaller stage equals quicker knockouts.
Yeah, but like with Sheik as Marth, you can force the on-stage interaction, where Marth is able to convert really well off of that on-stage interaction after the recovery.
Certainly not an impossible measure.
Yeah.
For Dimension at this point, but he does have a lot of work to do, and Pi-Lingual, he's playing this perfectly thus far.
Yeah, if Dimension gets a grab, he can add a percentage quickly, and then it's up to him to just get the kill. Pi-Lingual can just slow it down, try keep Dimension cornered, and at that point can just get the kills off of the edge guards.
Yeah. Goodness gracious, the ferocious down. But
yeah, and Pi-Lingual, again, at disadvantage. Dimension finally getting some percent on the stock. And
yeah.
Ooh, Pi-Lingual holding in.
Oh, wow.
This was an issue like last set also. Pi-Lingual was just holding in, and so some of the conversions Dimension got were really
Oh, Dimension
hard.
read that perfectly.
Yeah. And just, ooh.
Could not do much. Oh, wow, yeah. Dimension almost catching himself just slightly south of heaven there, but you can't get caught in that cloud, right?
No.
Yeah, no.
So
I figured that had jumped through, but
yeah, you can go through it no matter what. Yeah. This is just I think this stage is just so much better for Pi-Lingual than it is for Dimension. I imagine next time around.
Whoa.
Yeah.
Rest in peace, Tupac. Thank you. First off, F your Marth and the clicky claim.
Pi-Lingual. Oh, not sure why. Pi-Lingual up 2-1. I'm just going back to Battlefield. I think he wants the. Okay, I guess not. I imagine FD is probably going to be the stage. A big, wide stage with no platforms to mess up the recovery.
Right.
So Dimension can hopefully get more off of it.
Okay.
The other option I see is being Pokemon. Low ceiling, close sides, wide stage. Because Dimension's been getting cornered a lot, and Pi-Lingual's been able to convert off those much, much better.
Yeah. No, you see, I mean, and obviously Sheik is the faster character, so it makes sense. It kind of speaks to logic.
Yeah.
That you would have him coming at him from all sides, trying to befuddle Dimension. And yeah, and ultimately corner him, like you said. But it's just a matter of what are we going to see.
I'm not sure why the rock, paper, scissors ring. That was just 2 out of...
Yeah, no, what... Wait, did he just...
I'm not sure what that is.
Quick, more agile.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure Marth is a faster ground character, but Sheik is definitely a more agile. That's probably the better way to put it.
Yeah, no. I used the wrong word. I'll own that. So we are seeing it at Battlefield once again.
Yeah.
Not really sure what changed there.
Yeah, I'm not sure.
Yeah, okay.
Because that was only game 2, so I'm not quite sure why they did the rock, paper, scissors and all that. But
just got word that Dimension forfeited game 3, so they're moving on to set 2.
Goodness. Okay.
So this is set 2. Hopefully Dimension this time around. Now that hopefully like forfeiting calms him down a little bit.
Yeah.
But hopefully this can help him choose his positioning a bit better, calm him down. It's a bit wide of a stage, which can help him. But he really needs some of the larger stages to get a big advantage here.
Dimension almost knowing where calculated the recovery just fine, just didn't really seem to do much about it. I mean, Dimension, you think he's playing a bit more hesitant than he has been in past sets? That's just from me. So I could be completely wrong.
At least in this now that he's in his second set of Grand Finals, he seemed to just slow down to try to force the edge. He's trying to basically play Pi-Lingual's game, trying to force Sheik into the corner and keep Sheik there. Even if it doesn't mean that he gets as much percentage as at one time that he was able to in the past. But he needed to change something up because set 1 went really poorly for him.
Yeah. Can't go much more poorly than a 3-0.
Yeah. It looked close, but even if the stocks were close, the way the gameplay was going, it just was not.
This might be the first time I've ever seen anyone asking for Ice Climbers, but nonetheless, maybe you'll see them at Rocky 5, which is coming up this Saturday.
Yeah.
It's going to be on twitch.tv/pros_calamity. So maybe you'll see them. There.
Yeah.
Quick cheap plug. That's basically what I'm here for. Everyone else knows the Smash. I just do the marketing.
Dimension getting that clean edge guard, even though he messed up grabbing ledge.
He has a stock to give, though.
Yeah. To cover that up B, Pi-Lingual needs to continue to do that, nair from ledge.
Yeah.
Because Dimension hasn't, spaced his up Bs or timed his up Bs around it. Because Pi-Lingual's been very bad at covering it.
Right.
Instead, he's either killed Dimension on stage, or he just has been letting him back on, rather than trying to edge guard.
Got the grab, and again, just knows exactly where Pi wants to go. Yeah. But again, slowing, dictating the pace of play a little bit more. Being smart about it.
keeping Pi-Lingual cornered instead of the other way around, where Pi-Lingual was able to keep him cornered and was getting a lot off of it.
Exactly, and it's like I was trying to get across. Being the more agile character, Pi has more options in the air. So you have you want to stay on the ground and make Pi pay for trying to do anything.
Move around those platforms to cover the options a lot better than Marth is, because like, while Marth can cover platforms well.
Goodness gracious!
Ooh, yeah, just calling out that down tilt. Ooh.
Well.
Yeah, so
tit for tat right there, and that is Dimension taking game 1.
Marth can cover the platforms well enough, but like he doesn't get enough off of like platform movement, where Sheik can definitely get a lot off of the platforms. So I imagine we're going to see Pi-Lingual go Dreamland, maybe FOD. Yeah, so Dreamland. Keeping that big stage where it's harder for Marth to kill him. But it's important that like he doesn't DI in. Because this was definitely an issue in Winners Finals where he was DIing in and was dying at early percent, so Dreamland meant nothing. And so, ooh, and again, DIing in and dying at 68%.
Yeah. I mean, it's tough being on the bad end of that particular smash, but either way, I mean, you'd have to think that Pi would have been just a little bit more careful than that, and now Dimension almost dead to rights, but
yeah, getting 45% off of one hit before.
One combo and one grab, basically.
Yeah,
more or less, and then again with the forward smash. I mean, Dimension is just locked in. That maybe that forfeit is what he needed.
Yeah,
give himself a little bit of sense of urgency.
Yeah, like I chose the wrong stages. Let's not even fuck around with it.
Yeah.
Yeah. And like it was definitely because, and Pi-Lingual wasn't this bad at. He was doing really good DI in the loser set for him.
Right.
So like if he's losing this much off of these winner sets, if he's losing this much now because he's DIing wrong, I think it's because more Dimensions made this adjustment and is a bit more in his head, where like Pi-Lingual was able to at least recover better. And so he's trying to just keep Dimension in this corner again, but isn't just getting enough out of it to be worth it.
Luigi Vor, I would laugh at your joke, but I'm not that big a fan of circular logic. So, nonetheless, oh, by the way, just would like to point out, as a result of that forfeit, Zelda did technically take a game in the Grand Finals. So, but now here we are in Game 2 of the second set, and Dimension just... I mean, playing his game, Pi-Lingual has to respond. If you're Pi-Lingual in this, oh my goodness, if you're in this situation, after you get back on the platform, how do you respond?
Honestly, like Pi-Lingual just needs to mix up his recovery a bit more. He's just holding it. He's not doing anything else. When he's attacking Dimension, he's doing nothing but holding at Dimension and not trying to catch the text, not trying to catch his DI. He's just holding
Dimension's
forward.
Catching him on each recovery.
But like, yeah, so Dimension's, it's really just, Pi-Lingual's holding towards Dimension at all times.
Yeah.
And I think that's where he's, he's out of a jump.
Oh my goodness.
Out of an up, yeah.
Oh wow.
Yeah.
That was squeaky clean.
Dimension knowing, again, he's just going to run at him. Pi-Lingual needs to stop just holding forward.
Yeah.
He's holding at Dimension. He's not spacing as well. He's not grabbing as well. He's not DIing.
Yeah.
He's just trying to get Dimension and hit Dimension enough that Dimension dies. And he's losing because of it.
So a bit too much of a straightforward game.
Yeah, because last game he was baiting out the grabs, baiting out the F smashes by like through his dash backs, through his needles. So he was able to punish Dimension's like antsiness.
Right.
Because Dimension was doing a lot of the same thing, but not getting as much off of it. where Pi-Lingual now is just holding in and getting nothing. Yeah.
It's interesting because we've seen so many Marths lose in this tournament, and we've seen a few of them lose to Sheiks. What makes Dimension's Marth so exceptional that he is looking at this juncture to take the entire Assault 139 for his?
I think at this point, Dimension just calmed down. The last set, he had a bad game 1.
Yeah.
And then super got in his head game 2. So Pi-Lingual was able to take advantage of it. Dimension slowed it down by forfeiting game 3, and then having a moment to calm down for his first game. And so Dimension's playing a lot slower. He's keeping Pi-Lingual cornered, and so he's able to get a lot more off of it.
Goodness gracious, both players bringing their A game past 150%, all of them. My goodness, Pi-Lingual somehow taking that first stock. It looked like he was had dead to rights for a second there, but keeping on, combination to DI, a little bit of skill. Oh my goodness.
Dimension just sliding in there.
Stomping on the fingers.
Unfortunately, that's the way it should go for Sheik, where she baits out Marth options, and then gets a good, and then survives on this stage. But he hasn't been doing so. And we saw that last stock, and was able to get that jump, and now he just needs to clean up this edge guard, and he'll be good.
Oh my goodness! And that's what Pi's been looking for, was those aerial attacks, be it the fairs and the nairs, and
yeah.
And when he's gotten them, yeah, obviously to great effect, but goodness gracious me, I mean, they just have not come as often as Pi would have liked.
Yeah, at least I like how Pi's slowed down, has been throwing these needles to keep Dimension a bit more in the corner, trying to control his space better.
Disrupting the offense.
Yeah.
Disrupting the flow, yeah.
And it's a lot better than he was doing at least last game.
Right.
Last game, where Dimension was controlling the flow, and Pi-Lingual had nothing to answer for it.
And we've mentioned, I mean, we saw Falco, R&R's Falco, in fact, as he was playing, when he was playing in the
KDP.
Yeah, KDP, thank you. Goodness gracious, just right on the tip of my tongue.
I was trying to think of the other city.
It's all good, but while he was playing Falco, just how well he was using that laser of his for the stopping power, how well it disrupts someone's recovery. All of a sudden, Pi-Lingual using those needles for exactly that same purpose. It's amazing how these things come full circle.
Yeah, because
it creates a narrative, folks.
So Pi-Lingual game, the first set, was slowing down with his aerials. Right. Keeping him Dimension quarter, using his grabs and then his aerial to very basic Sheik stuff, but using good spacing in the meantime.
Yep.
And got 2 games very solidly off that. Dimension then started doing that himself, and Pi-Lingual just helped it.
Right.
And now we're seeing this spacing game, this slowing down from Pi-Lingual, and not just holding at Dimension, and is able to get these stocks that he wasn't able to before.
Oh, look at the movement there. See, and the thing is, realizing now that Dimension is pretty much reading his recovery and immediately with the dodge roll.
Yeah, just trying to get on stage and then mixing up the way. The moment he's on stage, he mixes out what he does a little bit, and just enough to throw Dimension off. Absolutely.
You don't need a full arsenal of pitches. Sometimes all you need is a fastball and a slider. Again with the baseball. Ooh. What can I say? It's the summer, folks. And Pi-Lingual, all of a sudden, taking this to the game 4. Pi ain't dead yet.
Yeah, I imagine now, hopefully, we see FD or Pokemon. Yoshi's last set did not look good for him, and so I'd very much like to see either of those stages. I think out of all of them, Pokemon would do the best for him, where Dimension gets more options to cover Pi-Lingual,
right?
But doesn't exactly give Pi-Lingual the option to live. So it looks like we're going FD, and Pi-Lingual's going Samus. We saw this in their winner set after Pi-Lingual wins. Sheik against him. Pi-Lingual has a decent Samus, and it doesn't look like really Dimension knows what to do much about it.
Yeah, but is decent going to win you a grand final against one of the better melee players in the area against his main?
Yeah, I mean, so
is it a matchup thing?
I think it's more he doesn't like how much it gets juggled as Sheik, so he wants to use Samus as like ways to mix up. And it also didn't look like Dimension had much experience against the Samus.
Right.
But the thing is, like,
gets the tether grab.
Yeah, he has some really good recoveries. He was mixing them up well in winners, but like you could just see the fact that it was a secondary rather than a primary in terms of like the convergence off of each hit.
Right.
Dimension got a lot more off of each hit than Pi-Lingual ever got.
Stan, your message was mod check because you spelled Krillin wrong. Anyway. Oh, and all of a sudden catches him with the down air. I could just say dare, but down air just feels more official. And here we are, taking Dimension, losing the first stock.
Yeah. Yeah, I think that exactly is what Pi-Lingual is looking for. Because if he was Sheik, he would have been juggled a lot more, and he got that option of a mix-up on FD.
So I mean, just completely between these two characters. Forget about the players playing them. Character-wise, Samus, Marth, who wins this?
Yo, it's by far Marth.
Then why would? Then what dictates the necessity for?
I think it's
Samus?
just. I think, again, he just doesn't want to be juggled. I think Sheik would do better technically on the stage. But
mixing up the recoveries pretty well with the bomb
yeah,
jumps.
Like that's the big thing. It's just Samus can mix up the recoveries, has a slightly harder time of dying off the side, or at least getting edge guarded, but has no way to kill Marth. He has to like depend on like bad DI and bad recovery.
Oh wow!
Exactly.
Catches the dare. That's a trade he'll. That's a trade she'll take.
15% stock.
Absolutely.
For a 70% Marth.
Yeah.
That means nothing to Pi-Lingual.
Not at this point. At this point, with the stock lead, gotta think that Pi is pretty happy with himself right now.
Exactly. I imagine we're going to see a lot like Pi. I hope Pi is going to slow it down a little bit. Keep Dimension at sword's length, because Samus's F tilt can range farther. I imagine Dimension's just going to give up right here. Yeah.
Yeah, wow.
I don't think Game 5 is going to go well for Dimension. He's now in his head.
Yeah. Goodness gracious. This is not. I mean, Dimension. Goodness gracious, I've seen Martini's less shaken than that guy.
Yeah.
I mean, it's
yeah,
it sucks to say, but I mean, he's such a good player, but you see it in his face right now.
I don't think he knows
you see that.
I think he knows how to play what he plays, and then he gets too self-conscious about everything else. Because you can, like you said, you can see it on his face. He's nervous. He doesn't know what to do yet, and I think Pi-Lingual's in his head.
Oh, he's thinking about it.
Going to Falco?
No, he's sticking with his guns.
Ooh, I don't like this.
This is it. Game 5 of the second set. We are in extra innings right now. No, the baseball references aren't going to stop.
Yeah.
Are you kidding me?
Yeah,
Here we go.
Pi-Lingual's able to keep him cornered too well. It's what Pi-Lingual's been able to get so much off of so far. He's been able to edge guard better. I guess better is the wrong word. He's been able to like get more off of the corner pressure. And Dimension just, I feel like Dimension would have been done better on Stadium, where it's a low ceiling. The platforms don't help out Sheik as much. But instead, you get a stage where Sheik can kill early, and Sheik has a lot of recovery options.
But we certainly saw Dimension go to Yoshi's story in the first set, really not to much effect at all.
Yeah, that was like a solid 2-stock, and he just kind of gave up at the end of it.
Yeah.
Hopefully, Dimension's able to stay calm and not get baited out by some of this stuff.
He was looking for the edge-hog, but that's Pi meeting him right at the edge. Goodness gracious.
Those ledge hop nairs are so strong because they just cover the up B, they cover the landing. In worst case scenario, they trade, and Sheik's always going to be in a better position. Ooh, and buffered a down air.
A veritable onesie of pain for Sheik, and very good for Pi-Lingual.
Yeah.
I did not think I would say the phrase onesie of pain today, I must say, but good grab. And again, this Pi-Lingual's bread and butter into that air, but
Pi-Lingual needs to start grabbing the ledge, because it's happened right before now also. He needs to, like, needle turnaround, grab ledge.
And again!
Yeah.
My goodness!
It's such a strong option against Marth. It covers better than, like, back air, because back air hits higher up, and this one hits slightly lower.
Into the chain grabs. Oh, he's... I don't know. I feel like he shouldn't be getting these chain grabs that easy. Against Sheik, that's one thing, but against any character with a disjointed hitbox, it shouldn't be this easy.
So against, like,
down to the last stock,
Marth and Peach, they have to hold in. Yeah, like you can see on Dementor's face that he's kind of tilted. He's in his own head. Yeah, he unplugged and gave up. He unplugged and walked out.
Oh my gosh.
Dimension's gone. Pi-Lingual won.
Oh my gosh.
Oh.
That's rough. That is rough. I mean, such a good player.
Dimension, he's so good, but he gets in his head too much.
Wow.
I'm surprised, like, he can get so much off of it, but he just doesn't. He needs to stay more calm, I think.
He really does. He really does. He has a lot of things to think about before Rocky 5 this weekend.
Yeah.
But as it stands right now, Pi-Lingual is the Salt 139 champion.
Yeah. Like,
and they both